Hello, everyone. Want to spend just a few moments to talk about our Pactolus walkthrough form. For those that were with us last year, this process is really no different. So you may be able to skip through a few portions of this walkthrough video. For everyone else, it's going to be very important that you kind of listen and kind of be aware of what is going to be expected with our walkthroughs this year. So our walkthroughs are just an informal way of going into classrooms and being able to kind of see what's going on, but also to help you grow and give you feedback as a teacher. So Mr. Knight and I will be utilizing this form when we go into your classrooms. You'll be able to see the feedback that we give you, and there will be some next steps that you'll need to do as well. And I'll go over that in this video now. So when we are going through this walkthrough form, the very first thing that you'll see up here is an opportunity for Mr. Knight or I to put our email addresses in. It will make a little bit more sense in a few minutes why we have to do that. But I'm going to put my name up there. And of course, the observer is going to be me. So I am going to pick whoever I am going in and doing a walkthrough. So Ms. Garcia, I'm going to pick on you again this year. So that will be the teacher. We'll pick the subject. If Ms. Garcia is doing some ELA reading at that time, that's going to be the portion that we pick. Of course, for everyone else, there's math, science, social studies, and then, of course, encore classrooms. The next portion up here are going to be is going to be our essential question statements. So those are EQs that are outlined on your lesson plan. We want to make sure those are posted and visible in your classroom. So we will, of course, hopefully click with everybody, make sure that it's posted. Reference through the lesson. If that is done, we will make note of that. Of course, if it's not posted, not the end of the world, but we want to make sure that our EQs are posted. If you have questions about your EQs, once again, those are going to be on your lesson plans and your ICs, or Mr. Knight and I can help you and assist with that as well. Next piece here is teacher engagement. Kind of what are you doing during this time? So we're going to say that Ms. Garcia is working with groups because that's what typically is happening when I'm walking in there. The next part up here are some look fors. These are some things that are looking to see if they're present or not. If we don't see all these, that's perfectly fine. We don't expect that. But we do want to see some things outlined up here. If not, then there are some other things that we definitely can look at as well. So, of course, anchor charts are those things that are going to be created with the students, graphic organizers, whether you're using high-level questioning, if you're scaffolding or using interventions, small groups, student collaboration. If you're deciding that today's an assessment day, that may be the time that we walk in. If you're modeling, that's something that we may be able to look and see for. Using technology, using academic vocabulary, whole group instruction, and of course, writing. So I'm going to pretend that when I walked into the classroom, Ms. Garcia was modeling, and she was using some high-level questioning for her pre-K students. Of course, there can be multiple things that are checked off here, and a lot of times there are some other options here as well. What Mr. Knight and I will do spend most of our time is really putting in some information here in the feedback. We find out that it's very important that the feedback that we give y'all is much more important than just the boxes that we click. So we're going to try to start off with a statement about what are some things that we saw that were really good. And then we always are going to try to give a question. It's going to be very important that we, ask questions. And I want to pause for just a moment and make sure that everybody understands that when we ask questions, it's not saying that we're asking these questions because you're not doing something right. Sometimes, when we go into a classroom, we may be in there 3 minutes, we may be 5 minutes, or maybe be a little bit longer. Sometimes the questions that we ask will kind of be aligned with what was going on before we got into the classroom, what was going on after we left. That kind of bridges some gaps that we have there. And also, it's a good way for us to ask questions if we want to kind of get you to think about it from a different perspective or see some other things. A simple question here is describe how you make your student groups. That's a very simple question there. So after that is completed, we will hit the submit button. Now, this will not go directly to you immediately. What will happen is it will come to our email. So as you can see right here, this is the form that I just filled out. And this is what it looks like. Of course, it has all this information that I already clicked, and then the question down here, or the statement there. So what we will do next is we will forward this to the teacher, Miss Garcia there, and then also Miss Morning. So for those that were with us last year, we did this with everyone last year. Every time we did a walkthrough, we would send it back to the teacher, and then of course to Miss Morning as well. Reason we're doing it to Miss Morning is because Miss Morning keeps up with everyone has a document, and whenever we do walkthroughs and we ask questions, Miss Morning comes down here and she will copy this question right here, put it in your uh, Google Doc, and then when you respond, make sure you hit reply all so that Miss Morning can see your response as well, and then she will paste your response to to the question in your Google Doc. Reason we're doing that is because that is going to help us keep up with some of your PDP evidence. One of your evidence is that you are responding and answering any feedback questions on your walkthrough form. So Miss Morning's going to be able to keep up that, and that's one of the things that we'll be able to link and give to you later on. So make sure that once you get these feedbacks or these walkthrough feedback forms, that you always hit reply all and make sure that you include Miss Morning to it as well, because she's going to be the one that's going to be the master manipulator on making sure that everybody has their question and their answer in their Google Doc that you can then use for your PDP or your professional development plan later on. Okay, so I'll send that to Ms. Garcia. Ms. Garcia reads over the walkthrough form. She's going to respond back and let me know how she sets up her student groups. And when she responds back, she just is going to hit reply all for Miss Morning. We'll set that up for you, the Google Doc, get all your questions and your answers up there, and we'll keep a running tally. And it helps us kind of say, okay, which classrooms are we getting into? Which ones are we've not spent as much time in as well? So just make sure you do that. Last thing I want to go over with y'all real quick, if my toolbar will hide, there you go. Whenever you get walkthrough forms from Mr. Knight and I, please make sure that you respond to those within 36 hours. It's very important just to, we understand that if we're doing it at the end of the day, got a lot of things going on, just try to respond to it before the end of the next day or a little bit later if necessary. What I also recommend is for people to set up their own folders in Google Gmail with your own walkthrough form questions and responses as well. So you may want to keep your own folder within your Gmail to kind of record your responses. Like I said earlier, Miss Morning will keep those responses on file, and we will review those at middle of the year at your PDP and at the end of the year. So just make sure that you have an opportunity to respond to those. It won't be one of those things that I will check up on and say, hey, you didn't respond to this, but we want to make sure that we are doing things in a timely manner. So that's a little bit of with your walkthrough. Reminder that this is just a way for you to grow. It's not to single you out or anything like that. It's to say, hey, this is how we want to continue to help you grow. And that's what these walkthrough forms are for. It also gives Mr. Knight and I a good idea of what's going on in the building and how we can better support our staff going forward. Thank you very much. And I hope you all have a great day.